All right, happy Saturday night, everybody. Welcome to Raiderland Rewind, presented by Thacker Jewelry, a Lubbock legend now for 50 years here in West Texas. And it's I don't know if it's a legendary performance, but it's one of the best we've seen at Jones Stadium in a while by a Texas Tech running back, Taj Brooks, with a huge night for the Red Raiders on senior night. And Texas Tech grinds out a win, 24-23 over University of Central Florida. We'll let you guys get in. We're coming to you from the Arctic Air Studios. Of course, you get it on the United Supermarkets text line if you're watching on Twitter Live or YouTube channel, 806-772-0197. If you're on Facebook Live, just get your comment in the way you do. Give us thumbs up. Audio good, video good. That way we know we are ready to get rocking and rolling and have some fun. Get your thoughts on the game. This team goes from 3-5 now to bowl eligible. Short week next week. And indeed, the talking box is on. Get ready for Texas there on Friday to wrap up the regular season. But there will be a bowl game for the third straight year for Texas Tech. It's been a while since that has happened. All right, we'll let a few more folks get in here on this one tonight. We want to find out what you liked. I don't know if there were things you didn't like. What impressed you the most about all of it? And even though it's not the season ender, it kind of feels like as you go to Austin, yeah, you'd love to send the horns out with a loss. But now you don't have to extend your season. I think that flips the pressure now back to Texas completely. And Texas Tech can go in and not have to be pressured to worry about anything. All right, don't forget, use the United Supermarkets text line, 806-772-0197 if you're on Twitter or on our YouTube channel. Let's get it going in 3, in 2. Well, good evening, West Texans, all you good, fine, friendly folks out there who wish you were. I'm Ryan Hyatt, TheRaiderland.com, the website. Check out everything we do there. Our questions of the day. This is Raiderland Rewind presented by Thacker Jewelry. Go by their showroom, West 82nd Street. Drop in, say hello. Tell them thanks for being a great part of Raiderland. And, of course, if you like some of the Western wear shirts we wear, I wear them every day. You can get them at Boot City. One money saved a mile outside the West Loop. Christmas time coming up, great time to look for belts, hats, and of course, their winter jackets are in and ready to go at Boot City. All right, what did you like? What impressed you the most? Let's make it happen tonight. Get your thoughts in. I just saw somebody on Twitter say, yeah, Tech did me dirty, -2.5. Hey, I would have been on the wrong side of that too. I like Texas Tech by 6 points in this game, but you'll take the 1-point win, and you get there in interesting fashion tonight. It was almost a bit like the opposite of the Wyoming game where you raced out to the big lead and then it slowly slithered away and you end up losing. Tonight, all of a sudden you kind of look up and you're going, man, this is the UCF team that put it on Oklahoma State last week. Plumlee was hitting some receivers. Harvey looked like he might get it going. And you'd left points on the board there by opting to go for it and taking a field goal. And all of a sudden you're down 14-0. And much like this team, I think really kind of is emblematic of the season, they didn't panic. Chris says Tech November team, they are. Have been a very good November team under Joey McGuire. But this team didn't abandon what they were going to do. Now, it was also fascinating that it was a night where Taj Brooks had 6 carries at the half, before wrapping up the night with, what was the final? 182 net, 184 on 24 attempts. So all but 6 of those coming in the second half. Again, different from the Kansas game, where it was a lot of Brooks. And then, I don't know, maybe they went to school on that and said, if we can keep it close, if we can just hang in there, we can pound them. They can't. So there's a UCF team that not very good at stopping the run for most part this year. And I think a lot of people were maybe scratching their heads going, where's Brooks in the first half? Well, he was rested and ready to go. Jeff does not like the analytics, but the grit won the game for him. Yeah, grit and some amazing field goal defense on the doink and then the missed extra point, which every now and then, dang it, you're just due. Maybe that ball was tipped on the extra point. I haven't just slow-mo freeze-framed it. Either way, I think it might have been going left. That it just had that look. And it's hard to sit there and go, okay, did Red Raider get a hand on or not? I don't, maybe so. maybe just enough. For you World Cup soccer fans, it was certainly not the hand of God goal or missed field goal, but every now and then, don't you feel like you're due a break? How many times have you sat there, depending on how old you are as a Texas Tech fan, and that was Tech that was coming back, was battling, and then it's Texas Tech that misses the extra point? You know, how often have you seen that? So every now and then you need a break. 806-772-0197, United Supermarkets text line. No more tailgates. Well, you can do it for baseball and basketball, but you can get food for Thanksgiving and pretend, right? We can do that. Ryan says, thank you, UCF, for getting us a win. Their mistakes were the difference. I could say both teams were trying to give the game to the other team for large portions of the night. I would say it was Texas Tech that took advantage of that when they couldn't. Dennis is watching. What he doesn't know, we're watching you. Nice to be able to kneel the ball at the end. Absolutely. Need a little break. A one-score game, a wonderful victory formation. And Alan Corbin, who I think is on the broadcast, a sometime contributor here to TheRaiderland.com, there at halftime or whatever, talking about watching Gus Malzahn in person, the amazing world of Gus Malzahn. And yeah, he had yet begun to Malzahn. It is a fascinating character study in coaching and everything else. Teresa says, hi, great game from home. Great game from Arctic Air Studios, where if your air gets too Arctic, you know what to do. Call thebear.com. Locally owned and operated now, multiple years. My man, Shane Templin, veteran, United States Marine. So tell us what you liked, what impressed you the most. I'll have some more thoughts on Haas Brooks. I feel like I say the same thing every week, and that's a really good thing. I will give Zach Kitley a B+, I think, tonight. Hell, what does he got to do to get an A around here? There's things. There are moments. But for the most part, hi there. Welcome back, Mason Tharp. Nice to see that. And this offensive line, I keep saying, it's a really good run-blocking offensive line. The pass block leaves a little to be desired at times, but the run block, absolutely. And you took pressure off your man, Baron Morton, who he's still hurt. That arm's still not there. The interception was just a really bad throw. He didn't get on top of the ball. His mechanics were poor. He what I call he laid it off, coming across with his hand. And if you go back and watch it from the All-22, you'll see what I mean. It was just a bad pass. Physically, I don't know that he can make that pass. He missed some downfield. Now, early, I hit one, and I'm like, hey, sending a message here. But no, he's still hurting. You're still having to manage the game around a beat-up, broken quarterback. So maybe that's enough to get Zach Kitley an A tonight. Tim DeRuyter's defense, solid again. Scoring average 23.6 on the year, I believe now. That's the best since 2009. And that was a pretty darn good defensive stretch, 8 and 9. Shout out to the good job Gino Garcia has done. Absolutely. Gino? Yes. I would have liked to have seen him kick one more field goal in the first half, but hey, what you going to do? Analytics. Like the offensive balance would have been great if Barron didn't miss some throws. Again, I think he's just still hurt. Hi there, Barbara. Good to see you hopping on. My old across the street neighbor there, Barbara. Teresa says, I'm actually learning to like the run after loving the throw for so many years. Who wouldn't like the run? Who doesn't like the run? How I learned to love the run as opposed to the bomb. The run's great. Let's all say it together. You saw, again, complementary football tonight. Run game, pass game. Defense. Taking pressure off your defense. The complementary football there on the last couple of drives was really nice. You ran clock, and then I don't know how long it's been since you sat there and you saw a Texas Tech team that had to grind out the final, 4:10, 4:16, 5:30, you get the ball back. So the final 5:30, you get the ball back, and they've got timeouts. And they know what you're going to do, and you did it to them. It's been a long time since you've seen Texas Tech play with that kind of attitude. If you can't like that, you can't like football. Defense can cover well in the red zone. It's been a bad defense in the red zone, but the last 2 weeks it's been just good enough. Bowed up in the red zone, Like I said, goalpost defense is great. That's the best thing you can do. We got a good defense is have them kick field goals off the uprights. It's great. A birthday present for John. Happy birthday to you. Everybody sing along. So thoughts, comments, everything else. And somebody said, yeah, you kind of playing on house money in Austin. Yeah, you are. Kansas State, really a wild game right now as we check it at halftime. It's 20-16. Second quarter action there in Ames, Iowa, where they have a sky bridge. They have a pedestrian bridge to die for. Iowa State 3, Texas 0. Do we call this year a success now that you're bowl bound? That's a ephemeral question that we try to trap and say, is it successful? Did you meet some of your goals? Yes. Did they meet all of their goals? No. I would say, and Joey McGuire spoke to this on the postgame show on radio, Texas Tech Network, that for a program to be good, you establish floors. He didn't say ceilings. This is important to understand, floors. And that one of the floors that he expects and demands and wants out of this program, the floor is being bowl eligible. That every year you start the season and you're going to be bowl eligible. That's a floor. So that's good. Yeah, back-to-back winning Big 12 seasons, first time since 08, 09. Didn't expect the bowl, but loving it. Yeah. So we say success. Did they leave meat on the bone? Yeah. I go back to two games right now that are the two game swings to me, and that's the Wyoming loss and that's the West Virginia loss. Those are two games that you absolutely, in my opinion, should have won, but you didn't. Not could have won, should have won. So, depending, a long answer to a really good question. Do you consider it a success? Do you think it's a successful year with games to go? Yeah, could. I think that's a could have on BYU. I don't know if it's should have. It's, it's in there. BYU. It's a wash, says Jeff. He goes with it's a wash on the season. Yeah, I'll go with the BYU and say that's a could have, not a should have. I don't think you're quite there with this program to just roll out of bed and always go on the road and get a win. The Oregon loss won. Could have won. Could have won. Could have won that game. Jayhawks kicking. Given the overall BYU record, we should have won. I'm not going to agree. I'm saying could have won. K-State, you were in the game before you decided to have your third string quarterback throw 50 times and a half. Yeah, it's still a little inexplicable. Get in on the United Supermarkets text line. If you're on Twitter, if you're on YouTube, that's how you communicate, just like the old radio show. 806-772-0197. Just beat Texas. It'll be a good season. That's fine to have that attitude. I don't think any game should be categorized as just beat this team, just beat that time, and it's a good season. I think it's a good season if you can get to a bowl game. It got a little bite to it tonight. Wasn't quite expecting that. Preseason expectations were not met, but hey, I remember when didn't make a bowl at all. And again, this is a team that has fought through injuries. I think every team has to deal with that. It just becomes so commonplace around here, battling through injuries on the quarterback side. Some key components. By the way, obviously, we didn't see the return of Hutchins and Rabbit tonight. Haven't heard anything on the postgame show. Long-term prognosis that hurts you on a quick turnaround. Having to come back and play that game this Friday. So who knows there? Always a great season. It was always a great season if we lost everything and beat UT and A&M, and that was a bad attitude. It held back this program. That's a poor man's attitude. Don't be a poor man. Fourth down inside field goal range should be fourth and long before we don't go. Analytics. See how he spelled it there? Yeah, the not getting the three early very nearly comes back and bites you. And I understand it. I get analytics. I'm not opposed to analytics. I'm not an analytics denier. However, in that moment, it would have been a 47-yard attempt, not a gimme, But in that moment, it kind of felt like, okay, you're kicking it pretty good. Got great confidence in your kicker. Take the 3 points. 3 points are okay. We have a generation of coaches now that hate field goals, college and NFL. I see it every week from a sports betting angle where old key numbers and game script and game flow can get tossed out the window right now. A lot of them don't like it. Seems like the last few years, the quarterback position has hindered us in the last few years. Yeah, injuries to the quarterback. Yeah, 2 field goal ops that you could have. Take any points period. So you wouldn't make a good coach today, Teresa. You're actually taking points. I know. Hey, we didn't come here to kick field goals. Well, 3 points comes in handy. Comes in handy sometimes. Can we have a conversation about Taj Brooks now? Taj Brooks is the hardest running back. So I phrase this: the hardest running back Texas Tech has had on the field since Bam Morris. We can debate individual talent and all that wonderful stuff, but he runs harder than anybody I have seen play for Texas Tech since Bam Morris. Bam Morris, one of the hardest running college running backs I ever saw. I don't know. He's going to have to go to the combine and impress on that. Best block follower since James Gray. I agree. His instincts, his ability to set up blocks, his patience and field vision, stunning. He had 3 or 4 runs tonight where he did all of those things, and they're glorious looking 5, 6, 7, 8 yard runs. But he's a harder running back than anybody I've seen since Bam. You can find a hole better than a mouse. Man, something about that makes me really wish that Spike Dykes are still around to describe Taj Brooks. We get cheated on some things. We got cheated and robbed of some great lines over the years with Spike passing far too early, in my opinion. Props to Coach Hamby and the offensive line. Yeah, they have developed. They have gotten better. Sandy Seegers, watching high there. Like an octopus. UCF knew he was running and could not stop. Yeah. Tech hadn't been able to do that. A rolling ball of butcher knives. That was one of his great lines about that. In a great finale, before I went on, I was trying to do some real quick research to see what some of the top rushing games were for Tech running backs over the years in their final game at Jones Stadium against USL, old Southwestern Louisiana. Byron Hanspard had a big 247 day. Doug McCutcheon had a 200-yard game in one of his last ones. There were some really, really good running performances in their final senior day game. So it's right up there with that. In senior day, I mean at Jones Stadium. Taj might make more money at Tech next year instead of NFL on a rookie deal. Yeah, the old NFL, it's still outpaying the NIL money these days on most of those deals. Not quite like the NBA, where a guy like Timmy could come back and make some money playing college basketball. Guys at Kentucky could outpay some rookie deals. But yeah, I think Taj he'll take the money, and he ain't coming back. That's already been discussed. Texas Tech acknowledged that this week. I believe that was at the Monday press conference. And I can't remember who was it, Coach Perry? Who was it that said that? Anyways, hey, the lifespan is short for running backs. You got to go when you got to go, and he will be playing in the NFL next year. Well, what a cool way to go out for Brooks, and nobody's run harder than him in a Tech uniform since since Bam Morris. Byron was great. Don't get me wrong. Byron didn't dog it. Byron was a different kind of runner. Byron would take 47, 48 stretch and just glide to the outside, and all of a sudden it'd be 2nd and 2, and you're like, he got 8 yards? Yeah, unfortunately, short shelf life for running backs in the NFL. You got to get the money now. Indeed. Yes, legally, somebody had to win. Might as well be Texas Tech getting it done. Yeah, Hanspard was a different kind of runner. Obviously, Little Ricky Williams, Torian Henderson, different type of runners. And Torian was a good hard runner, too. When I say this, I'm not dogging the running style of anybody. Washington, fill in the blanks on some of these. But Brooks is just different in the way he delivers punishment. I hope he gets a fair shot. That's all I ask. We've had some bad luck over the years with Texas Tech players and running backs. We want to see a fair shot. I mean, going to camp, getting hurt, something weird. That's what happened to James Gray. He went to was it the Niners or the Eagles camp? I can't remember which camp he ended up with first. Anyways, he ends up with an ankle, and he already wasn't the fastest cat out there. You can't make the club if you're sitting in the tub. A compact Earl Campbell. Speaking of which, the long run in the first half, if it's 1977, if it's 1978, he scores because he's wearing a tearaway jersey. And that jersey's coming off, and he is scoring. Can we get the tearaway jersey back? I'm on the bandwagon for the tearaway jersey. Okay, give us your thoughts. Give us your impressions. We got other games going on, as we mentioned now, late in the second. Iowa State 3-3 with Texas. In the third, early 27-16 Kansas over Kansas State. No real surprises, I think, around the league today. Oklahoma went to BYU and wins by a touchdown in a back-and-forth game. Really, a 100-yard pick six was the difference there. West Virginia handled Cincinnati. Welcome to the Big 12, Cincinnati, 3-8 on the year to a 7-4 West Virginia. That may be the coaching job of the year, dare we say it? And now they're stuck with Neil Brown in Morgantown, and they hate it. TCU took out some frustrations over Baylor, 42-17, playing for the new Battle of the Bluebonnets or some crap thing like that. And then I think Dana Holgerson's time will shortly be over in Houston. Oklahoma State wins 43-30 on that. And Mississippi State, where Torrey Stevens, longtime strength and conditioning coach, Texas Tech baseball, Lady Raider basketball, his son, Trevor, I believe, is on that squad. He's I don't know if he's playing defensive end or what he's playing right now. Where's number 88? He is on that squad, Coronado Mustang. Now 9 wins, and they get $1.3 million to go beat Auburn at their place. Ted Lasso to A&M. Will the Baylor coach survive? I don't know. 3-8, and they can't exactly point to a recruiting success since they lost Blanchard and McGuire to Texas Tech, that they haven't really just refueled. That's going to be an interesting one to watch there in Waco. I'm told that they have all the money in the world. I'm told that money is no object there. That's what I'm told. You can get on the United Supermarkets text line. Check your ad specials when you go to Market Street tomorrow. I guarantee you there's probably going to be some great meat specials there. The word is around is gone. Jeff Traylor may be a hot commodity again this year. He is a hot commodity. He has spoken with Texas A&M about that job. And if you're Jeff Traylor and you have any intention of moving up, you better do it, or your time will pass and you'll get Seth Luttrelled. And he may want to stay at UTSA forever, but, that could easily go away. Just one bad year at UTSA, and you're not there. Boy, there has been some talk about Patterson, and he's made no bones about it. He wants to coach again. He wants to be a head coach. Peyton says it was a great game tonight. How about them Red Raiders going to a bowl game? Yes, they're going to the WhoCares.com bowl, but if they're going to have a bowl, you might as well play in it. Obi goes to A&M. Don't want to deal with him in the Big 12. Yeah, I'd kind of drink to that tonight. Just getting in, we're discussing Texas Tech's 24-23 win over Central Florida and Gus Malzahn and the Fighting Gus Malzahns. Fascinating cat. If they can upgrade their talent, somebody on Twitter tonight, UCF so much faster and so much all this. No, they're not. They're not. Tech's roster is better than UCF's roster. All right. There's no magical advantage just because they're in Central Florida. It will be interesting to see the bump they get recruiting-wise this year, next year with the Big 12. The band is in the Macy's Saint Giving Day. They're in the parade. Going band. They need the drones with them. Yes, they do. ESPN possible coach at A&M. Now I can pretty much shoot that one down for you. There's fascination with him at A&M because he was the OC for Johnny Manziel. Johnny Manziel ain't there. I think they are currently second in recruiting in the Big 12 to Texas Tech. Yeah. If they continue to upgrade, Central Florida can be a problem. Why do you guys think he's going to be the head coach at USC, riding into the Big Ten, replacing Caleb Williams, personal head coach? Why don't you guys think KK is going to get that? If anybody can fail up, it's going to be Cliff Kingsbury. You know, when anybody can ride this wave and get him another head coaching job, it'll be him. We'll see. I don't know what kind of clawback Beck has in that contract. We ought to be about done with that. Especially with Florida and Miami down right now, talking about UCF capitalizing on it. Going back to my thoughts on Malzahn, watched him for a lot of years. It's a fun mix of an offense that I think will do well in the Big 12 going forward. You saw the Wildcat they ran to Harvey. They do some big RPO stuff, which tonight's crew, by the way, we'd like to applaud the officiating crew for the third quarter where everybody got to watch them officiate. They officiated the hell out of it. But they do some RPO type stuff, pure RPO, and really outside RPO that does lend itself to getting some ineligibles downfield. They do a lot of that Wildcat good motion movement with counteraction. I really like that offense. If they get better players, yeah. I was sure worried about my career. My career's fine. Gus is really interesting. I want someone to rescue Cumbie from the dumpster fire in Ruston, Louisiana. Man, I get he had to take that job. Well, he didn't have to. But it's not been a bad job over the years. Most of the guys who've had it over the last 20 years have been able to elevate and move on or move up. It's been a good stepping stone job. So, I feel for him, but he very well could be entering OC rehab soon if things don't start playing out a little bit different. After watching Tech in the past game, how do you feel about them against Texas next week? They'll be underdogs, deservedly so, but they got a shot. Your quarterback's still hurt. Texas will do everything they can to take away Brooks. You better be able to come up with something. If you always got a shot, be better here in Lubbock than there. Some wind in the wire. Gus might be going to Arkansas as that job opens. Yeah, I can see that. He's an Arkansas legend, state of Arkansas legend. Louisiana Tech now in NIL. It's always better than they win. Yeah, makes my job easier. 806-772-0197 if you're joining us on the text line. Even though he didn't have huge numbers tonight, it was good to have Tharp back out there. What did he end up with? 3 catches. 3 catches, the long of 19 and the touchdown. That little drive there, I called it I think that was a drive I called the hodgepodge drive. It was a little bit of kitchen sinking it right there by the offense, but that's okay. That's what it's supposed to do. But that's a guy who can help you beat Texas. You can beat him. He's going to play on Sundays. Talking about Tharp. Dust off little man or little man big world play. I think Gus will move yet. He doesn't have to, certainly. Beating Texas would mean 10 times as much as a bowl win. Yeah. Although it's always nice to get your last game of the season, but yeah. Is he the best receiver on the team? Obviously, Aiken's really come on, and him. Everybody knows, buddies and friends, him and Morton. But I really am a fan of Tharp, so I'm not going to argue that one too much. Have to have the little man. Yeah, Jakeem Grant ain't walking through that door. How would I feel about Air Force in the Armed Forces Bowl? Is that the one that's played in the Metroplex? I don't want to play a bowl game in the Metroplex. I'd rather go somewhere else. But, yeah, Wyoming just waltzed in, last week and pounded – or no, was it Army 2 weeks ago and then Wyoming last week? I can't remember what it's been. Air Force has been going the wrong direction. Fort Worth, I really don't have any desire for that. I don't think that does anything for you. And I haven't even sat down really and looked at all the different combos that would be out there, pecking order and everything else. Best receiver on the team is McNamara. No fumbles on punts this year. You've jinxed him now. Thanks. He uncorked some nice ones tonight. Another guy who is going to fall into the line of quality punters that Texas Tech has sent to the NFL, guys like Donnie Anderson. Well, no, there's others. Maury Buford. We've had some really good punters there. Army and Bryson Daly from Abernathy beat them. Yeah. Stomped them in the first half. Bowling Phoenix would be good. Yeah. Go out there and see some of your Big 12 brethren. Strange that Jaron Bradley has been invisible for long stretches. I don't know, because I didn't get it last year, and I thought the hype was a little too much going into it. But again, it's just a receiving core that is nobody separates. McCray's come on here recently a little bit. We said, Coy Aiken, a long-time guest host on Hee Haw, Coy Aiken, really seems to be kind of the security blanket guy. Oh, man, Army got the ass-kicking chicken there from Coastal. One thing, though, and I'm sure this has happened, I have to go through some box scores. Texas Tech didn't use another running back not named Taj Brooks tonight. The Cameron Valdez was in Harbor. It was one guy. One guy. I mean, even at the height of Bam and Byron and you're running, I'm hard pressed to remember a time when you ran the ball. What was the total rush count? You had 27 rushing attempts. Morton credited with 3 of those, and really only one I think was probably by design. Nobody else got the ball. Go Army, beat Navy. Go Navy, beat Army. I root for the uniforms in that game. I root for the best uniform every year. Whoever comes out with the best uniform gets my support. Tyler Shuck is still the second leading rusher on the team. Yeah. What is I wonder if I can pull that up real quick going into tonight and what those numbers were looking like on the full season statistical chart for Texas Tech. The average media release now has 572 pages. It takes a little while to scroll through everything to get where you're trying to get to. Heaven help you if you try to do it on a post-game show live and try to get there. Where are we? Oh, well. I ran right by it. Doesn't really matter. See, it's hard to do. Where are we? They're in Ames, Iowa. We had halftime yet, but Texas apparently has scored. So it's 9-3 now, Texas in front of that one. Quarterback room for the bowl game and next year. Well, for the bowl game, it's going to be what you got now. Chuck's not going to play in the bowl game. So you're living with what you got now. Next year, you get Morton, you got Strong, you got the Hutto kid coming in. I just blanked out on his name. I'd find a transfer portal quarterback just because. You just can't have too many. And if you could find a guy with some experience that, if you got into that situation, Tech was in against Kansas State, that you got somebody else, Hammond, thank you. I would bring in a portal guy too. And we keep the substitute horse for the future. At least it was able to run. Yeah, I believe Centennial Champions days have unfortunately come to an end, and I believe you'll have a new horse for the Masked Rider next year. Here's the Centennial Champion. We barely knew you, Buzz. Yeah, Shimonek transfer would work right in. Would absolutely work right in for Texas Tech. All right, a couple more minutes left with you. Fire away your thoughts, comments. United Supermarket text line waiting for you, 806-772-0197. Texas Tech doing obviously some things they hadn't done in a while, back-to-back winning Big 12 seasons. I think that's big. Really, you shouldn't discount that at all, given where this program has been for the last 10, 12, however many years you want to go back to. Nats. I got Invisible Nats, which is a good name for a band. If you're looking to name a band, and I know many of you are, as you watch a Rewind brought to you by Thacker Jewelry, my feelings on soccer. Are you watching Lady Raiders tomorrow against North Carolina? Probably keep up with that. Put on my scarf and go Lady Raiders. Huge win. Went to penalty kicks. Good program against Princeton. Big win. Kicks have been very good for the Red Raiders this weekend. Too early for any feel about men's basketball? No, I like the construction of the roster. The long range shooting, I think, is obviously not very good right now, other than Pop Isaacs. But they're playing some good defense, and I like the pace they're playing at. The game the other night against A&M Corpus Christi. That's why I said you don't ever lay 24, 25 points in non-conference on these things. I hope we played loose, not loose in Austin because the pressure off. Yeah, it should be. Texas will have all the pressure on them. They're the team that's got the pressure, not Tech. Well, thank you for saying great show. Heading to Kansas. Happy Thanksgiving. Have fun up there in Kansas. Joey Strong in the second half of the season, 4-5 last year, 3-5 this year. Went on to win streaks both times. Yep, that's a good sign of a good program. Much rather do that than the other way, however you get there. The wins are the wins, and we needed this game, says the legendary Ben. Let Joey build. We'll be very successful soon. I agree. Everything is trending that way. Your mark will be in Austin for the game. We believe so. We believe that to be the case. The laugh of the day, Bama quarterback dropping the ball short of scoring. Oh, did we have another one of those? Oh, no. That's awful. Well, K-State, Kansas, 27-24 Kansas now, 6:29 in the third. Yeah, getting better in November instead of crashing is a very nice thing. So, and that's mentality. That's, I see people say, well, there's got to be something wrong with the strength and conditioning. You keep getting injuries. No. But you're playing better late in the season than most teams. That's strength and conditioning. That's a part of it. That's mental toughness too. I mean, it is a grind mentally. And that's a mental toughness that's one of the things Joey McGuire was having to turn the corner. It takes a while to do that. It's not an immediate turnaround on the mental toughness of a program in football. It's easier for me to do it in basketball because I run off everybody and get a whole new roster for the most part. I can do it in baseball in a year or two. Same deal. I can run off a roster. You just can't really do that in football. Well, I guess you can in Boulder. Shout out Coach Prime. Boy, college football, the networks milked that for all it was worth when it was worth something. Well, speaking of cornerbacks and the cornerback blitz, that was a bust. The cornerback was not supposed to blitz. He was supposed to back out. It was supposed to be a safety blitz. McGuire talked about that after the game. So the 71-yard touchdown pass to the wide open receiver burning the blitz, your wrong guy blitzed. Sometimes it happens. But that's as pure a bust as you're going to see. You just don't see that a whole lot in college football. But that was I meant to talk about that obviously bounced back from that, but that was the bust. Wrong guy blitzed. You weren't bringing both. We always want it now. Sometimes too fickle. Coach Prime. Good for him though. He milked it too. Colorado milked it. They sold a bunch of tickets, and we'll see what that recruiting looks like and how much better they are next year. They're in Boulder. I have a feeling they'll continue to improve. All right, we want to thank Thacker Jewelry for being a great presenting sponsor of the Rewind. If you know somebody who needs for Texas Tech where they live, you know what to do. Share this with them. We'll have it posted on our website, theraiderland.com. We'll have our Sunday column up for you in the morning, 5 things we know on a Sunday, and all that great stuff going in to Monday. I'll be on the road Monday, so we probably want a daily broadcast with you, but we'll be back for you Tuesday and Wednesday leading up to the game on Friday. Thank you, Jeff. Have a happy Thanksgiving to you and to everybody out there who is traveling. Hope you guys have a great Thanksgiving and safe travels as well. Travel mercies. Thank you. All right. It asked me to end the stream for our YouTube and Twitter people. Yes. Do you really want to? Yes.